Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another market breakdown. It is Thursday, November 13th. Um, let's get right into it. So, in terms of trading, it has been a bit of a rough week. Um, Realistically, I shouldn't have to enter any other trades because I should have already taken two good wins. This should have been a win from last week. Oops. Um, but it wasn't. And I'm not going to let that affect my trading for this week, or for next week or for whatever. Um, this should have already been booked as a win, or we should have currently been in this trade. So at the moment, it would be at a 1 to 2, 1 to 2.5. Um, but we're not. So we can't really change that. We literally got wicked out by 3 pips. GBP CAD, overall, I do think I could have handled this position a little bit differently. Um, in one res like in for one example, I could have waited for price to actually break and retest above the 4 hour EMA, um, or above, especially above the 30-minute EMA. So I think that was probably the biggest thing here. Now, had I waited for a break and retest above the 30-minute EMA, I think that at that point I would have realized that price is slowing down. As you can see, when we're talking about like market structure and momentum, you can see how price here is pushing up aggressively, pull back, push up, pull back. Now we're underneath the EMA. What happened? We pulled back very slowly and painfully, right? So at this point, I would have probably realized that we don't have the momentum or this, like we don't have the structure or volume in order to push price any higher. And I probably would have avoided taking this trade altogether at that point. So this trade could have been handled differently, and by handled differently, I mean I could have been a little bit more patient and avoided entering it in general. Um, and as you can see, price is now trading in our direction. Seems like we're going to actually break above and retest the area or the EMA that I was looking at. And from there, we might see those buyers coming back into the market. But it is the end of the week, and I don't want to force any of that. So on to the next AUD-CHF. I think this is a very, very similar situation to CAD-CHF, where we basically just got taken out of this trade by nothing. This one, we did wait for a break and retest underneath the 4 hour EMA, but price needed to retest the EMA fully. And if not for the news, as you can see, price was already headed in this direction. Um, Retested the EMA or retested the area of interest, sold, we were in profit. And then the news event happened, and that's what pushed price up into our stop loss. And now we're getting that reversal to happen and have a continuation. So this week was just a little bit brutal to say the least, but we're still sticking to our 2 trades per week. Last week we took two. This week we took two, um, and that's it. We're gonna move on to the next week and see what happens then. So now that we're done talking about these ones, let's go over some of these other pairs, and then we'll go ahead and talk about the Forex pairs once more. Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, retesting the EMA again. Who would have guessed? We guessed. We knew. We knew that that would happen. Now we're kind of stuck underneath the 4 hour EMA. If we break back above, retest buy, that's all good. If not, then we're probably gonna sit in and around this area for a little bit longer. Probably once again bouncing around underneath the EMA until eventually we break above, retest to buy. Bitcoin. Bitcoin might be affected by the end of the government shutdown. Trump does like to spend his money on crypto and make huge promises with crypto. So we'll see what happens there. As of right now, we're still underneath this area of interest, and we're still underneath the daily EMA. Um, SPX market opens in 30 minutes. So what can we expect to happen? Well, we're currently pushing up. Here we're pulling back. Here we're pulling back. So here I think that we might actually see the same thing happening, probably an inverted head and shoulders, shoulder, head, shoulder, pull back, continuation, similar to the way we're getting one, similar to the way we're getting one right here, inverted head and shoulders, shoulder, head, shoulder, to continue to the upside. In fact, you can see right here, there's a smaller head and shoulders right here, break, retest, sell. So short term, next couple of hours, we're probably going to sell, or we might just get one strong wick to the downside and then a continuation to the upside on NASDAQ, US 30, same thing. Pulling back, no head and shoulders, but we're pulling back into previous structure, maybe down into this EMA, into the neckline of this double bottom, and then having the continuation to the upside from there. All right, next is gold. Gold is one that I regret not placing a buy order all the way down here when I kind of called it out last week, where price had, showed me that it was planning on having a buying continuation, probably somewhere within this area. As of right now, we've had an extremely strong bullish week. Daily time frame, still having a continuation. Right now, I think we're retesting this neckline of this double top. So we could see some selling. I think this would be a good place for price to actually come down aggressively, retest the 2-hour EMA, and then have a continuation from there. That could be something nice to see. Maybe retest this structure point that is right here. And then just, have a bullish continuation, taking out this double top right here. So obviously it doesn't have to have this pullback, but if we do see it, then that would be a perfect place to enter for more buys. Dollar index 4-hour time frame or weekly time frame, rejecting the EMA on the weekly time frame. Daily time frame, similar to USD CHF, price is having a stronger pullback than anticipated. At this point, we are retesting these wicks right here from the previous structure. Daily time frame or 4-hour time frame, we talked about how now that we broke underneath this EMA, we're probably going to retest to sell. That's exactly what happened. And from here, I would like to see a bullish continuation, but the first step to that happening would be a pullback or a break and retest above the EMA on the 4-hour time frame. So right now we're bearish on the 4-hour, and we'll most likely see more sellers for the time being. All right, now we can get into the Forex pairs that we were looking at. CAD CHF, we already talked about. As of right now, the only thing I could see happening for us to be able to enter this trade again is a 4-hour pullback into the area of interest, basically this right here. Exactly what we had written up yesterday. I just didn't want to hop in kind of on emotion or anything else, because I had taken these losses. That would be oh, you're still in? Good stuff. Good stuff. But yeah, I just kind of want to take things easy for the rest of the week and kind of approach next week with a fresh mind and these losses in the past. So as of right now, pull back to continue to sell, but we're probably not going to get the rest of the continuation this week. It'll have to be next week's thing. So next week we'll open, we'll have a wick to the upside and then a continuation to the downside. GBP CAD. kind of still in the same area as when we took it last week, or I think was it last week? No, it was this week. Still in the same area. We're still bullish on the daily time frame. In fact, now we have a bullish engulfing candle here, and now we're breaking above the EMA. So realistically, you could probably consider taking an entry for buys if you get a proper break-in retest above the 30-minute EMA, which I think we're doing right now. Or we did right here, break retest buy. But in general, above the 4-hour EMA and above the 30-minute EMA. So that would kind of look like a 4-hour break and retest. That would be best for us. I mean, in reality, let's go ahead and grade this trade just to see what we have going on here. Weekly time frame is currently bearish. Daily time frame is currently bullish. And 4-hour time frame is currently bearish. So I guess your options would be, or your best option would be to wait for a break and retest where the 4-hour time frame goes bullish. Then you're trading with two time frames in sync to buy. Weekly time frame, you could consider this being a double bottom, I guess, in some respect. I probably wouldn't. Is there around psychological level? Yeah, there is, like right where we are, 1845. Do we have an area of interest? Yeah, we do. There's a huge area of interest right here. Tons of market structure, all of that good stuff. So that's your area of interest. Weekly time frame, you have no pattern. You're not retesting previous structure. You are retesting the EMA, and you do have a candlestick rejection. Daily time frame, you're bullish. You have double bottom, triple bottom now, head and shoulders, whatever you want to call it. You're retesting the previous structure, kind of. Wouldn't really say retesting previous structure at the moment. This would be considered the previous structure. And as of today, if this candlestick closes bullish, then we will have a candlestick rejection. 4-hour time frame. Are we, what's it called? Are we above the EMA? Do we have any sort of patterns? In terms of pattern, there is a double bottom. There's a double bottom there. Retesting previous structure, not exactly, but if we do break and retest, then we will be retesting a previous structure. As of right now, there isn't one, but that's okay. Are we retesting the 50 EMA? No, but we will be. And do we have a candlestick rejection? No, but we will have one in or around this area. After that is your entry confluences. Obviously, if you have two of these or more, then you're good to take your trade. But yeah, you're basically looking at about a 95% trade setup for buys, even though currently that's not what we're looking at. We would have maybe a, as of right now, minus this, minus that, minus your daily candlestick rejection. Well, I guess that could count today. And then minus this. So you're looking right now, it's a 50%, but waiting for a break and retest would instantly turn this into a 95% trade setup. So that's why it's important to wait for that extra step. In fact, I'm not sure why. Let's see what this says. 30-minute. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do something here for our EMA. Time frame buttons. I'm adding in the 4-hour EMA as one of my confluences because I've been meaning to do that, but I always forget. Okay. save, and then this will go right there. All right, so I'm gonna make sure that this is refreshed. All right, there it is. 4-hour EMA, 30-minute EMA, shift the structure engulfing. So, oh, let me change that then. Edit. It says 2 out of 3 when in reality it should say 3 out of 4. 3 out of 4 needed for a valid trade. Okay, that simple. It is that simple. Refresh, and we should be good to go. Bam. Fantastic. All right, so now we're in a better place in terms of percentages and confluences, and should be easier moving forward. All right, so where were we? As of right now, waiting for a break and retest on GBP CAD, AUD CHF. At this point, I would wait for the break and retest of the 4-hour EMA, make this go bearish, and then next week, I guess we have 6 or 8 more. No, I think there's 7 more hours in this. 7 more, not hours, 7 more 4-hour candles in this week. So if one of them breaks below and then we get a couple more pullback candles, like a daily pullback candle in general into the area of interest, into the daily EMA, and then next week we could get some selling, that would be fantastic. So basically a break and retest of the 4-hour structure. Go bearish, pullback, continuation. That would be fantastic to see and a great way to take this trade. Euro NZD, and this is one that we were talking about yesterday. 2-hour break and retest to buy. I'm not sure at which point we said that. Euro NZD. Yesterday. What time were we doing this? 9 o'clock in the morning? Okay. Yeah, so it was a 2-hour break and retest to buy. I think it's because price had technically shifted underneath this EMA. And I had considered the fact that we might retest underneath and then sell. So right now we do have a 2-hour break and retest to buy. Price is doing that. Weekly time frame is bullish. Daily time frame is bullish, and 4-hour time frame is currently also bullish. So we have 3 bullish time frames in sync. Price is trading above the 4-hour EMA. And yeah, right now it looks like, well, it doesn't look like either of these scenarios, because in these pullbacks, you see price broke below the EMA and continue to push higher. Right now, we are maintaining price action above the EMA. I think the only issue with this trade is there's no top to it. Like you're just buying into nothingness. And I think I kind of overlooked that yesterday. I went back and looked at it and I was like, this is not my favorite pair, not my favorite trade. So we're actually not going to be interested in this one any longer, simply because we would only be able to buy this high. Like that would be our main take profit for this pair. You could maybe, if you're lucky, maybe get 2% out of this. Because there's no resistance to tell you that price is about to reverse or turn around or anything along those lines. So not interested in that one any longer. GBP JPY. This is one that I was interested in. and it is seeming to play out. Let's see. Pull back into the 4-hour EMA to buy. Price didn't end up doing that. I think we just ended up pushing above, retesting, break and retest above this trend line. And that's what price started to do. We broke above, retested. There was a bit of news that pressed price lower. And then we had this complete turnaround. And I placed this buy order right here, kind of to see what would have happened had I entered the pair or had I entered the trade. Price then tanked almost directly to stop loss immediately to fill in some of this empty space left by the news. And then we kind of bounce around in here, and we would have been up about maybe 0.8%, not even 1 full percent just yet. But yeah, that's the position that we're in there. Um, and my take profit would have been this highest structure right here. So we'll see how that plays out. As of right now, I don't see this being a trade that I take. Simply one, because we don't have an area of interest for buying from basically the middle of nowhere. And that's a little bit not confusing, but concerning, because if we don't have an area of interest, then price could retest any area in order for price to have a continuation. So that would mean we could come back and retest the EMA and buy or anything along those lines. So probably going to stay away from this one. I had this on my list in order to see how it was going to move. Euro USD. I know a lot of people were interested in taking this trade. Is price really tanking right now? What's going on? Yeah, it is. Wow. Euro USD, people were looking to take the buy or to take the sell, excuse me. And I wasn't too sold on that just yet. We were considering to take sells only once price successfully broke and shifted underneath this EMA. So at the moment, we're basically at the higher high. We're somewhere within this area right now. What we want to do is we want to be down here. We want to see price sell and then see price pull back and then have a continuation. So even if it's aggressive, even if it's ugly, it's better than being up here. So that's what we're looking for right now. We're still waiting for it, break and retest under the area of interest and EMA to sell. Now we might be seeing that happening soon. I'm not sure how soon, but it would be probably relatively soon in terms of the fact that we are retesting the daily EMA, and the daily EMA usually holds price pretty well. So if we were to grade this at the moment, we still only have one time frame in sync, which is the daily time frame. So we have two time frames in sync to buy, and buying just doesn't feel right at the moment. I would consider taking buys once again if price shifted, broke bullish, retested the area of interest, the EMA, and gave us an inverted head and shoulders pattern right here. So shoulder, head, shoulder, continuation from there. Okay. Next is USD CAD. USD CAD is another one that I was very interested in for this week. Weekly time frame is bullish, daily time frame is bullish, and 4-hour time frame is currently bearish. So our 4-hour time frame is currently bearish. So we have two time frames in sync to buy. But what I was waiting for was a proper push to the upside and then retest to buy. That would be ideal in my eyes. At this point, we are retesting around psychological level, the area of interest. But I don't like the fact that we are, one, still bearish on the 4-hour time frame, and two, still stuck underneath the EMA. So it looks like we may have found the bottom. I think at this point, if we do shift bullish above the 4-hour time frame, we will have successfully shifted bullish, and we could, even with this new 4-hour candle, find that bottom and have that shift of structure. So this is one that I will be interested in trading. So we'll see what happens with that. Next is AUD CAD. AUD CAD is currently having a 4-hour pullback. Daily time frame attempted to shift bullish, failed once again. It has failed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times with wicks. Yeah, that's seems about right. Weekly time frame is bullish, daily time frame is bearish, 4-hour time frame is currently bullish. So I think right now we're kind of just stuck between the daily and the 4-hour time frames. And at this point, I believe that we could see a retest of this 4-hour EMA and then a continuation or a retest of this area of, not area of interest, trend line, and then have a continuation from here. Only issue is we're not really buying from, well, our area of interest is right here. So it's a little bit lower area of interest. I think we may have missed our opportunity to enter on some short-term buys, but I also don't love the market structure here. I'm not a huge fan of buying when price is consolidating so heavily. What I can say is this right here is almost the same exact thing as this right here, right? Market structure, everything else. Like at the current moment, I think we're in this situation where we've successfully broken above the EMA to retest the EMA to buy. I think that's exactly where we are right now. So this is a trade that interests you. You might be in luck. There could be some potential here. Just be aware that price is currently struggling to break above this daily structure point. But yeah, just currently still waiting on that. I don't think I'm going to be interested in trading it, so I'm removing it from the list. Weekly time frame here is currently bullish. Weekly time frame is bullish. Daily time frame is currently bearish. Euro AUD currently bearish. I'm not sure. Okay, so this was the news event for the Australian dollar, which pushed price down. And then we're seeing that turnaround, as we mentioned before. From here, daily time frame is bearish. 4-hour time frame is currently bullish. So we had to shift the structure on the 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame is bullish. Weekly time frame is bullish. This is promising to see. What I would look to do for this pair, or what I would look to trade, is one, I would look to trade above this area of interest for buys or below this lower time frame area of interest for sells. So if you're looking for sells, you wait for this. If you're looking for buys, you wait for this. I think that's pretty self-explanatory, pretty straightforward, and it should be relatively easy to catch. Yeah. Still interested in this one. However, I'm pretty sure that for now, it will be for buys. Okay. On to the rest of these pairs. I think we already went over AUD CAD, we went over GBP JPY, and we have gone over Euro NZD. Euro CAD. Euro CAD weekly time frame is bearish. Weekly time frame is bearish. Daily time frame is bullish. And 4-hour time frame is currently still bearish. Now, price did what we expected it to do. We had a break and retest above this EMA. Very nice, very clean. In fact, you can probably see a bullish market structure shift right here where you have your lower low. So here we can draw this as, we can have this as the line. We have our, okay, so here, lower low, shift the structure, higher high, higher high, higher high, shift the structure, lower low, lower high, lower low, still our lower high. And then we break below this point. So we have a new lower low. And then we shift bullish, pull back, and then continuation. So we had our shifted structure right here with this push to the upside, created a head and shoulders pattern right here, retest of the neckline, continuation. So that was the trade right there. For right now, I could see this. Okay, shoulder, head, shoulder. I could see this having a continuation all the way up to the new high. Simply because we're very bullish on the higher time frames, monthly time frame. Yeah, the weekly time frame did shift bearish, but that was kind of like it felt very, very short term. It only shifted bearish in order to retest this EMA on the daily time frame, which price has been trading above for quite a while now. So, am I interested in this right now? Probably not, unless price pulls back into this previous structure, maybe this previous structure, and then has a continuation to buy. All right. So for buys, I would be interested in that only if we saw the pullback. We'll toss it up here for now just to see how it moves. GBP AUD weekly time frame is currently bullish. Daily time frame is also bullish. We have retested the double bottom. We are rejecting as of right now, so that is good to see. 4-hour time frame has had a lower low. No, it hasn't. 4-hour time frame failed to make a lower low. Yeah, it was to the pip. So we're still bearish from here to here. But the daily time frame is bullish. The 4-hour time frame is still underneath the EMA. If I was to take buys, I would want to take buys above the EMA, retest to buy. Just to be in sync with the two larger time frames. As of right now, not interested for myself. On to the next, Euro CHF. Euro CHF is currently having a continuation. I think all CHF pairs are doing this right now. So weekly time frame is bearish. Daily time frame is currently bearish. Yeah, so we're bearish from here to here. 4-hour time frame. Oops. The 4-hour time frame is currently also bearish. I don't think so. We've had one elbow right here. That's it. Lower low. We're creating potentially a double bottom as of right now, but I do expect just proper continuation to the downside. I don't think price is going to stop. We did reach a profit target, which would be this weekly structure point right here. The next profit target would be the daily structure point, which is right here. And I do believe price will make it there. However, if we see a pullback into the area of interest, that would be even better for us. GBP NZD. GBP NZD is bearish on the daily time frame still. Weekly time frame is bullish. 4-hour time frame is currently still bullish. We pulled back, tried to retest this area of interest, and now we're having a reaction to the upside above the 4-hour EMA. We were below the 30-minute. Now we're above the 30-minute. I think this could be a potential trade for this week. Short term as it might be, I do like the market structure price it's creating here. Let's go ahead and grade this one really quickly. Weekly time frame is bullish. Daily time frame is bearish. 4-hour time frame is bullish. We've had that push to the upside, the pullback. Weekly time frame, do we have a pattern? No, we do not. We retesting EMA? No, we're not, but we did retest previous structure. With this wick as well, we have kind of retested that previous structure. Do we have a candlestick rejection? Last week we did. We had this candlestick, this bullish engulfing. What I do kind of think is going to happen is we're going to close as is this week, and then next week we're going to open and press upwards. Daily time frame, what do we have going on? We have pullback into the EMA. Do we have a pattern? Potentially a inverted head and shoulders. So this could be shoulder, head, shoulder. So we are forming a pattern. Are we retesting the previous structure? Not really. Maybe you could consider these wicks as a previous structure, but I wouldn't. We are retesting the 50 EMA. And to add, if we close like this, we will have a daily candlestick rejection. 4-hour time frame. Do we have a pattern? Maybe a double bottom right here. Are we retesting previous structure? Not really. I wouldn't say that either. We are retesting the EMA, and we do have candlestick rejections. Are we above? Did we shift above the 4-hour EMA? Yes, we did. 30-minute EMA? Yes, we did. Do we have a proper shift to structure? Well, if we pull back, let's see. Yeah, we have a 15-minute. Do we have a 1 hour? 1 hour time frame shifted bullish. You have a 1 hour shift to structure. You have your engulfing candlestick. I mean, realistically, you probably could have taken this trade already from right here. But I would wait for a proper retest of the 30-minute EMA and then an engulfing candlestick above that 30-minute EMA. So once you get that, you'll have about 110% for your trade. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that one. I'll toss it up here for the time being. We already went over Euro CHF, GBP CHF. GBP CHF weekly time frame is bearish. Daily time frame is bearish. We have a bearish continuation right now. 4-hour time frame is currently also bearish from right here down to the bottom. I don't see this being tradable. We're at the lower low. We're needing a daily pullback to sell. USD JPY, we're having a daily pullback and a 4-hour pullback into these previous structures. So that could be a potential trade opportunity if you guys are interested in taking buys off of the 4-hour previous structure. I'm not particularly interested in that. I would like to see a daily pullback into a daily area of interest to buy. NZD JPY, same thing here. We're kind of stuck between two areas of interest on this one, and broke above the EMA, retested the EMA to buy. I think that this could be a potential trade if price manages to give us a proper break, retest, buy. That would be great to see. If not, then I'm simply not interested in this one. Yeah, we're basically stuck underneath this area of interest and above this one. NZD USD having a daily pullback right now. Now we are at an area of interest as of right now. But what I want to see is I want to see price fully pull back for probably for another week. That could be a possibility. I think right now we're almost like right here in our move. We're like right in the middle. I think that we're going to continue for another week or two, maybe another couple of 3-4 more days, and then we're going to have the continuation next week. So as of right now, I see us rejecting the EMA, pulling back, breaking above the EMA, pulling back, shifting above fully, and then buying from there. What we're seeing right now is the struggle that it takes to go above the 4-hour EMA. We have our inverted head and shoulders, shoulder, retest the neckline to buy. But yeah, this is one that I will be interested in taking probably next week for, one more time. AUD USD. This is one we talked about together. As of right now, I think that we kind of reached a turning point in this market. We've created a head and shoulders pattern. And I think that next week or the week after, we are going to see some very, very strong sellers um, in this market overall. Like, I'm not going to be taking any buys. I will only be looking for sells. Weekly time frame is bearish. Daily time frame is still bearish. 4 hour time frame is currently bullish. So maybe once price breaks and retests under the 4 hour EMA, that's when we'll consider taking this trade. We'll have a shoulder, head, shoulder, and then we'll be good to take our trade. As of right now, not interested. USD CHF, very, very strong sells. In fact, so strong that we are about to shift bearish on the weekly time frame, daily time frame, went bullish above the EMA, pulled back. At this point, I'm not sure how we could have entered this trade, unless you knew the future and or are just a very good gambler and you ended up catching this trade perfectly. So as of right now, all we're waiting for is a proper break underneath this structure. Daily time frame goes bearish, weekly time frame goes bearish, retest, and continuation to the downside. So that's all that I can see happening there. Next is NZD CHF. NZD CHF is at a lower low on the daily time frame. On the weekly time frame, we are at a lower low. So realistically, it could take a week or two for a pullback into previous structure, pullback into previous structure. So here we sell, pull back into the previous structure, and continue to sell. So that's what we will be waiting for whenever that happens. So next couple of days or next couple of weeks. Next is CHF JPY. Not interested. We are at the higher high. Then we have AUD JPY, basically the same thing. We're at a higher high, no area of interest. Euro JPY at a higher high, no area of interest. CAD JPY at a higher high, waiting for the pullback, and GBP USD. I know a lot of you guys were super, super interested and excited to take this one. I hope you didn't. USD pairs are all having that pullback right now. It could take another couple of days before they're all ready for us to trade. Inverted head and shoulders as of right now. Break, retest above. So we're not going to be ready tomorrow or the day after, probably in a week or so. After that, we have NZD CAD. NZD CAD on the daily time frame is currently pulling back. We want to see the pullback into the previous structure to sell into the EMA. That would be great. As of right now, not interested. We're still waiting on that. And then AUD NZD, still waiting on the pullback to the previous structure. And that was it. I think that's it. So the only pairs that we really have to trade are NZD, GBP NZD. So we're looking for a break and retest of this area, or I guess a proper, like not even proper, just a 30-minute pullback and engulfing to have a continuation. So let's add that to the notes. Break and retest to buy, 4 hour break and retest to buy. I think we already have that. Yeah, I did. Okay, so on AUD CHF, I'm going to show you guys where I would have re-entered. I would have re-entered after this engulfing candlestick. So if we were to go ahead and regrade this pair, right, starting from nothing, delete. Yeah, we'll delete our confluences really quickly. Not sure why that happens. Wait, it might be my computer. That's not it. NZDCHF, AUDCHF right here. Okay, so weekly time frame, currently bearish from here down to here. Daily time frame, currently bearish. 4-hour time frame is currently bullish. Like as of like for this entry, it would have been bullish. In fact, let's go ahead and you know what? Never mind. Right here, do we have around psychological level? No, but we do have an area of interest. Weekly time frame. What do we have going on? Um, Not much. Realistically, maybe a double top, if maybe. Um, we have a candlestick rejection for sure. Last week, candlestick rejection. No EMA, no previous structure. Um, Maybe, just maybe, could you consider this a double top or a head and shoulders right here? But this isn't even retesting the neckline. Daily time frame, you have your, let's see, daily time frame, you have a, I guess that could be considered a double top right here. Retesting previous structure. Yeah, you are retesting previous structure with this wick. Retesting the EMA on the daily time frame for sure. And then candlestick rejection was 2 days ago. So you do have a candlestick rejection from this area of interest. After that is 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame, you have market structure is kind of sloppy. It is moving downwards, but it's also moving like sideways a little bit. But we don't really have a pattern. Shoulder, head, shoulder, maybe double top right here. Retested the EMA, retested the previous structures, kind of. And we do have this 4-hour bearish engulfing, which is promising. And then obviously you have your lower time frames. Yes, we're underneath the EMA. 30-minute time frame. Goodness, what is that? That's incredible. Yeah. Can you believe that? Yeah, you can't make that up. These markets hate me some weeks. Some weeks I can't catch a break. And the craziest part is they hunted my stop loss perfectly. Like there was no remorse there. It was just stop loss and then continuation. Um, Anyways, let's continue grading that. That is it's making your week. Well, good for you, man. I am happy. I'm happy that you guys are able to catch these moves, even when I'm not, because that means that I'm able to help you guys analyze the pairs and you guys have the confidence in yourselves to take these trades, which is more than I could, more than I could ask for. So, props to you guys. Here we shifted. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. We shifted underneath the EMA. We retested engulfed. So you have your shift of the EMA. You have your engulfing candlestick. You might not have, I mean, you do. You have a shift of structure on the 30-minute. So you have, this is a 110% trade, considering the fact that I added the 4-hour EMA as 10%. This is a pretty good trade. Or the re-entry was, the initial entry was good as well. I don't think that I would have I don't think that I would have placed my stop loss in a different place. 20 pips, 25, 30, 35. Yeah, at this point, you would just set your stop loss above these highs, and that's 50 pips, and you're not even at a 1-to-1 yet. So that doesn't make sense. That is the re-entry would have been the most appropriate thing to do at that point. All right. So now that we've gone over that one, let's go ahead and finish marking these ones up. So here we're waiting for a 30-minute pull back into EMA. EuroCAD waiting for a 4-hour pullback into previous structure. On Euro USD, still waiting for that break and retest right there. Break and retest above the 4-hour EMA on USD CAD. Here we do have so here it's a break and retest above or below. So we can actually edit that. There's 4-hour above area of interest to buy or below to sell. Euro AUD, AUD CAD, we're not interested. So the list of things is short. We have GBP, NZD for a pullback to buy. Obviously, that is for your interpretation as to what your proper entry signals will be and if you're okay with taking a trade so far away from the area of interest. Then we have a 4-hour pullback to buy, a break and retest to sell, break and retest to buy, and a break and retest in either direction to buy or sell. So at this one, it would be a break above retest on this EMA or a break below retest to sell underneath the 4-hour EMA and previous structure, and also head and shoulders pattern. So that is it for today's market breakdown, ladies and gentlemen. It is the end of the week, so take it easy. Don't ruin any profits that you might have. And you guys are amazing. I'll see you guys in the next video.